I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, you can't That's why I spend my life with you.
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirs. You're here for hot tea. All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only.
The truth that I hold about her.
Well, I guess this is what happened when you are content with being a nasty, evil person. And this is not a video to strike Dusty Dan down, because when she first got arrested, I went in her comment section and I told her, I have not always said the most positive things about her, but I'm really rooting for her and I hope she figure out her situation. And she blocked me because she's a weird bitch and she doesn't know how to be accountable for her actions, or she doesn't know what genuine support is or people trying to pour into her looks like. Because I genuinely felt sorry for her and her situation when she initially got arrested, because I don't like no man getting a woman arrested for no reason or behind being bitter. And I've always told you guys that there was something up with LeBerry that I didn't really like. And then he made that hair comment and it pretty much confirmed my suspicions about him. But at the end of the day, there is something up amongst these two that they have still not spoken on. And I am so curious to know what exactly happened for them to have this much vitriol toward one another, specifically LeBerry, because LeBerry is running to the courthouse every 3 to 4 business days and he's not playing with Dusty Dan. And a bitch like Dusty Dan calls herself a girl's girl, or she wants people to have support for her as she's going through this situation. And I don't necessarily feel bad for her, but I don't want to knock her while she's down either. But these are one of the scenarios by design when it comes to male identified women. Here you are dealing with what could be a narcissistic man, yet you cannot pull in enough people to understand your situation because you're so nasty to a woman that went through a similar situation. Maybe not the exact same, because you're some shady shit, Dusty Dan. There is a reason, in my opinion, why LeBerry is being so nasty toward her, and I'm not just going to blame him and say he's a narcissist. He wanted this woman to give him a DNA test, and they were married, and they actually planned to have that son. He was a rainbow baby. It's very confusing because Dusty Dan also years later said that she named her son Law because that was a name that she spoke about naming her son with a whole nother man. A lot of people suspected that there were infidelity within their marriage, but they never confirmed and or denied what was actually going on in their marriage. They always just summed it up to they didn't want to talk. Then years later, Dusty Dan did a podcast and basically tried to reveal that this man, LeBerry, was abusive toward her. And a lot of people found that hard to believe, because if he was abusive to you, I would like to challenge why you would align yourself with a man like Martel. Martel actions should be so triggered considering you're going through so many of the similar things that he's taken another black woman through, a black woman that put thousands of dollars in your pocket, might I add. You aligned yourself with a man like that. And to me, somebody that has been in close proximity to these type of males with this mindset, it is truly insufferable being around them. They are all insufferable. It's annoying. It's very triggering, especially because a lot of them continue on with that narcissistic mindset and they carry it on no matter what in every relationship, whether it's friendships, whether it's their children, whether it's their parents, whether it's their spouses, whether it's their bosses, whether it's their employees or co-workers, etc. They take these mindsets around all the people around them that have aligned themselves with them. So for you to say that he was an abusive person but align yourself with an abusive man doesn't give you any credibility, in my opinion. And because we've seen you get on multiple platforms and outright lie, you don't have any credibility when it comes to your perspective on a lot of these situations, because you are a fucking liar and you gaslight people and you manipulate people, just like your friend Mill's baby mama, who you've aligned yourself with. And I wanted to say all of that because here you go, you have gotten yourself in another pickle with your ex-husband, and I think this is a crazy scenario because you have been running around with all of this big D energy, so you claim, which is self-proclaimed, might I add, trying to gang up with Nostradamus, trying to poke with Mel, in my opinion, and using her children to do so, and the narcissistic abusive man that she had distanced herself from to do so. And to me, that's very nasty. A real woman, whether you fall out with a woman or not, is not going to intentionally align herself with the man that is causing as much chaos as Martel has caused for no good reason. And what makes it worse, in my opinion, is the fact that you like to claim that he was your friend before you ever known Mel. But if you were truly a woman, you would understand how painful and how much of a necessity it is to have unity amongst each other as women when going through such a tumultuous situation like you're going through right now and like Mel has gone through. And this is just one of those things. I feel like it's karma. People should not get in the way of people having to experience their karma. You can't be a blessing to someone that has to live out their karma. Dusty Dan has done plenty of nasty, wicked things and aligned herself with an abusive man while dealing with something like this when it comes to LeBerick. And I'm not saying LeBerick is an abusive man, but she is trying to claim that he is, and I just cannot believe her. I also believe that she's very manipulative, and she's a liar, and she's a gaslighter, and there is a reason this man is being very nasty to her, and there is a reason he filed for divorce, and there is a reason he wanted to have his son have a DNA test. And there is a reason he took her off the insurance, so she claimed. There's a reason that they are dealing with all of this, and I just can't write it off on LeBerick. So T from TV reported that Dusty Dan and LeBerick had another court date, and Dusty Dan was thought to be willfully in contempt of court, criminal and civil, by continuously talking about LeBerick. She also failed to pay HOA fees. She also failed to pay medical bills for her son because they're supposed to split custody and medical bills. She's supposed to respect LeBerick's privacy, and I'm assuming that is her not talking about him in any way, shape, or form, or on any platform. She has also been late for drop-offs and pickups. LeBerick also claimed that she had been interfering with selling the home by taking out the for sale sign in the middle of the yard, along with other things. And she was basically sentenced to 5 days in jail for each count consecutively, meaning back to back. And that was suspended for 2 years if she pays her debts and do what it is that she has to do. So she basically has 30 days to pay $12,000. She has to pay $1,000 to her son's medical bills. She also has to pay a $600 HOA fee. She also has to pay $4,000 in unpaid mortgage, which is pretty much about $20,000 in debt. And if she doesn't pay all of this and handle her fees and do what she's supposed to do, then she would have to be sentenced to jail, like I said, 5 days each count consecutively. I'm gonna come to you guys with more of my thoughts and opinions of this situation, but I'm gonna end this video off with a lot of the things Dusty Dan so boldly had to say in a lot of her interviews. And I only want to do this because she had all of this to say knowing that she was going through all of these things behind the scenes. And she had all of this to say on a lot of free platforms. She didn't generate any revenue for herself considering she needs the money. She needs to be focused on trying to make fucking money instead of trying to tarnish someone else's image for someone else, or because she's bitter. She has a bitter baby daddy she needs to concentrate on, while she has aligned herself with another woman's bitter baby daddy. Dusty Dan has made plenty of crazy, outlandish comments about everyone else and their situation, and has never really given any insight or information on her situation. And truth be told, we know why now. LeBerick really is not rocking with her, and she can't open up her mouth and say shit. And that's okay, but it's a lot more that she can reveal about herself. Like one fucking saying sorry. Because I don't know if you can go to Thick Tongue Tisha and ask her for $20,000. And with everything that Nostradamus got going on, she might give you $20,000 because she want to make herself look good. But I don't really think that's really something that she can afford at this moment either. And the type of bitch that you are, you're not going to pay them their money back, because you didn't even have enough decency to pay Mel her money back, which is probably why you going through this shit. If you would have been a respectful woman and been a loyal, decent fucking person, you probably wouldn't have had this much chaos going on in your life. She probably would have been able to be the mending force amongst you and LeBerick. She probably would have even been able to help you a little bit throughout this situation, because she understands just how much so it is to be going in and out of court because of a bitter baby daddy. And truth be told, if you wasn't such a nasty person, maybe people would be more prone to buying your shit. But you're not open, transparent, honest, or a good, decent person. You're not a good woman, and you show to be the type of black woman that'll go against other black women to get male validation. And I have labeled you to be a dangerous fucking woman. But y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the post notification bell so y'all are up to date each and every time that I upload.
The threat to speak about your divorce. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to address that. Well, first and foremost, to come out here and expect for people to make up, lies, side chick productions and stories and these lackluster receipts about things I've already admitted to. All that is par for the course, right? It comes with this world. But when you start saying things like, "I'm gonna expose why you got a divorce," when that's information that, number one, would never embarrass me, it actually wouldn't. It actually feels like the betrayal of the situation. This is a different level, because not only if there is any information that you would like to share, it's what I told you as my producer. That's number one. Number two, now you're playing with my family. Now you're trying to tell a story that only I can tell. And there's a reason why I slow walk this story, and I've been very careful and delicate about what I say, because there's a child involved, and I don't play about mine at all. So that statement is either you share it and it's going to make you look worse of an individual, or you're going to lie. And again, there's still a child involved. So for me, it's like, if you want to share a receipt, be ready for the consequences, because there's still a child involved. So for me, it's like, if you want to share a receipt, be ready for the consequences, because I promise you I don't play about my baby. And yeah. Yeah. It's actually, and you think it's cute, and it's funny, or it's what you think people want to be entertained by. But that part, that's not entertainment. That's my real life. And again, that's only a story I can tell the right way. And you don't hear me out here blabbing about what happened, because again, it's some dark stuff, and my child is involved. And I don't play about my kid. I don't play about my family. So find you somebody else or something else to play with. Stick with your side chick story, because that's one that I don't play with. Yeah. So
whole hacking thing with Melody and Martel work.
I don't know how it works. I don't do that. That's legal. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is if you call him, that her voicemail came up. So
is that really true? That's the thing.
Ask Sheree.
Wait, did she call him and her and Melody?
I was that call that I was telling. I don't even know if the times are accurate, and I said this, but I was leaving her house driving back to Huntsville. So it was like checking on me to get back home. I was leaving her house. So before I was supposed to go to the polo match with them, and I missed it because I had the times messed up. I was there in Atlanta rehearsing for my play that I was in, Lipstick Monologues. And so I missed the polo match, and he was like, just come over to Sheray's house. And we were over playing cards, having a good time. And I brought my niece with me because I knew I was going to drive back. And so she was hanging out with us, and we, playing spades and doing what.
How does this
explosion. You and Melody, you know, you fell out because Melody overheard you having a conversation with Tisha.
Is that really why we fell out?
I too would feel a certain way if my friend was talking to someone that I was having issues with. Could you not see that?
Absolutely. I'm not blind, and I never want to be, you know, so, oh, well, she, whatever. But yeah, I can absolutely see that. That's why I made it a point to take time to sit down with her and talk to her and see how she felt and, you know, tell her what I said and what the discussion was. And we got to an amicable place about it because it wasn't that heavy at the time. It wasn't heavy until the camera started rolling again. We both know where our bodies are buried. I just choose because how I move as a friend is to never tell her.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I love her and I wish her the best.
Now we see another addition to the show, Stormy.
But in terms of
people throwing me under the bus and trying to make it seem like I'm sleeping with somebody's ex-husband and somebody's current friend, man, whatever they are, I don't like that. That is again another character damaging statement. You can't just lob that out there and just leave it.
Where do you think that came from?
Well, I mean, she said she had receipts, and that was, you know, omitted. She was like, I got the receipts to show it. Receipts, you know, I say receipts. But I was like, well, what you mean when you hate this one? Because how would you have receipts? How would you have that?
I'm still trying to figure out how am I calling Martel and then somebody else's voicemail pick? That is so weird to me. I'm stuck. Okay.
And another thing that was omitted was her and Marcel got into it because he was like, well, how did you even know it? And she said, well, somebody called and the number I called back and I asked, who did you intend to call and what number was it? And he was like, that sounds like.
So I, as a viewer, root for that. I need just a couple of questions I got to ask. Is there hope? And what was said in the hotel room? Please tell me what was said in the hotel room.
Listen, everybody want to know that, even me. So I would say this: the relationship that Melody and I developed and was real. It was real. It was real. It was a lot. We experienced a lot of trauma together. We did a lot of healing together. The problem that I have with I don't know how to answer that question is because in friendship you go through opposition, right? How you move as a friend in opposition determines how you go forward after that. And how she's been moving to me is not that of a friend. And that's just where I'm at right now. Before I would have been like, Jesus Christ himself gonna have to come down here and fix this and be like, hey, let's get this good. But this is where I'm at now.
So were you and Letitia, because I got to make it plain for the people that's gonna watch this. Were you and Letitia, what were y'all saying about this woman in the room at the hotel? Because I felt like we needed a camera there.
Listen, Lamh just people talk about scripted reality shows. This ain't one of them. Okay, I still go on. So real talk, and I know people like when you say real talk, probably don't trust you, but in real life, what happened was I was getting dressed because everybody was leaving that day except for the Scotts. They stayed an additional couple of days because it was Marcel's birthday. So Tisha was like, I'm coming to your room. So I'm literally running back and forth in the bathroom, folding clothes, putting stuff in my suitcase. And we were just talking about the reunion. Literally, we were recapping the reunion and then parts that I didn't see. So like one of the things Tisha said was, oh, I really hated that part where they asked Martel the question and he wouldn't answer it. And when she explained to me what it was, I was like, oh no, that's terrible. So that we talked about, and then we talked about her not knowing that me and Melody had not spoken to each other. And so let me be very clear. People keep saying, oh, Destiny's needy. She needed to talk to Melody. They texted, da, 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 da. A text message is not the same as talking. I don't care what century you were born in. Talking to your friend on the phone regularly, or even not even regularly, like maybe once a week or every 2 weeks was something that we did. So for me to go from calling and making sure she's good and not getting a response until a week, and then saying again, hey, I texted you a week ago, what's up? You good? You alive? You disconnected from the world? Was my exact text message to say, hey, if you are, just let me know you're good. And then to get a text message back, let's hang out, and I was out of town. But after that, from the inception, from the ending of filming to the stage, I had not spoken to her on the phone. So we only text. So that's different. So for me, I'm like, I don't know where we are. I don't know if we're good or not. Because I hadn't talked to my girl. Like we text off and on. I may say she may respond, whatever the case may be. So people with these, she had receipts, that didn't even equate to what I was talking about. So getting back to what Tisha was like, I didn't even know y'all, because Tisha and I talk. And I didn't tell her, hey, I didn't talk to Melly. I don't know what's going on with her. I didn't have that conversation with her. So she was shocked by it on the stage. And so she was like, I didn't know y'all haven't been talking to each other. And I was like, yeah, it is what it is. After so many times of reaching out, you just can't lose no sleep. That's what I said.
Okay.
And the other part to that was when she was telling me about the Martel situation, and I said this to Martel and they edited it out, or maybe it'll come out, I don't know. And I was like, well, I did say that, Martel is a little jealous because Melody's, continuing on without him. And he always wanted that to be the family. And that's when she knocked on the door.
Gotcha.
So
And the And the interaction at the hotel, did it feel hostile to you, or did it feel?
Well, it was Melody. It was y'all too loud. Y'all coming in here with the what did she say? We can hear you outside the door. Oh, we can hear you in the hallway. Whatever she said. And I'm like, okay, girl, what you want me to repeat it? Like, this is our conversation. And I was like, whatever. And so she was coming to the room to give me her new number. Now this is crazy because she's like, oh, we've been communicating with each other, but I didn't even have your number. So when you brought your receipts, why didn't you tell people that you came to the hotel room and give me a number? Because I didn't have it. So this is my thing. If it was such a bad conversation or you felt slighted, why would you give me your number in that moment? She could have just knocked on the door and said what she said and walked on. She gave me her new number. And then my landscaper, it was like 5 minutes later, she walked away and, pulling a little bag. Like I said, these walls are real thin. And I'm like, whatever, girl. And so she left. And my landscaper texted me immediately after, like 5 minutes after that. And was like, hey, I have Mel's number, but I need to reach out to her. Can you have her call me? So I texted, I said, random. Jimmy just called me to ask me for your number for, I guess congrats, whatever he was doing. And she was like, oh, I just talked to him. I don't know why you don't have it. I said, I don't know. And anyway, so she's like, okay, I'll call him. And then she texted back and said, it's a lot of random things happening today. So I responded back and was like, all love, or something I said. And she was like, yeah, I'm good. So I called, like, what's up? Because at this point, I'm getting ready to get in the car to leave.
Yeah.
And she didn't answer. And then she texted back and she was like, LOL or something. And I said, we were just recapping the reunion. And she said, LOL or something. We'll talk. And I called again, I think. And then she said, we'll talk when we get back to Huntsville. And we went to brunch like a couple weeks later and sat down and talked about everything. She's like, oh, that's what I heard. And her specific words to me were, I can't believe that I was talking about you. Like, it wasn't like that. And she said, I didn't think you were talking shit about me. Exact words. It was who you were talking to.
Mm.
And in the moment, I was like, now that I've processed it, but in the moment, I'm like, girl, it wasn't like, I didn't know you ain't, hi, I didn't know y'all were enemies. Like, I didn't know.
Still her.
Yep.
I'm still her. How we get to this? Madoni.com.
Madani. Like that. My dad's name is Madani.
Madani.com.
Madani Beauty.
MadaniBeauty.com. Okay,
Yes,
let's get into it. Now,
I'm a finish.
Oh, sorry.
So we're gonna
get it together, girl.
And so I just want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Moses, and then Sunny saying she gave me money. I don't recall.
Okay. She didn't give you the money. She a damn lie. That's what you're saying.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That's kind of what it is.
And then as far as Melody, we were once friends.
You know I can't fight, right? I'm just going. Don't talk shit about people. I can't fight. Okay, good. Okay.
I don't go there, but
you never know.
But I just want to be clear, like there was a real friendship with Melody and I, and we both supported each other in multiple ways. We sponsored business opportunities. We sponsored Moses with Melody. She sponsored an event I used to do called Madani Beauty and Luncheon. Mm-hmm. And then we also, just as women, when her car would break down.
Into this. We supposed to get to the light shit first.
But I'm just saying, we do a reunion, we do the light funny shit first. Well, I want to get to that and then get into the fun stuff. But I want to be clear that it wasn't a one-sided friendship. We both did things for each other.
Mm-hmm.
I Melody. Correct. I rented cars for her when she didn't have the credit, and I did. I supported her business when she had events. She supported my business, and so the number that she threw out there was also sponsored.
What number did she say?
I think she went on Carlos King and said it was $6,000
that she gave you.
Correct.
Okay.
So sponsorships included. We didn't even get to that number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is she including sponsorships?
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at my PayPal, which I got receipts for it,
I trust you.
No, I want you to see the receipts. Okay, I'm trying to save me line. So I look at them. It didn't even get close to $6,000, but I will say this, and I'm sitting this. She was a good friend to me. She volunteered to send me $1,000 once, and I never asked for it. It just showed up in my PayPal account because we have been sending sponsorship money to each other, and I was very appreciative of that. But then it became, this is what I did for a person. It was said that I went on a crusade to talk about her being a bad friend, which I never did. I want y'all to find the footage where I did. Now, after she made that comment on Carlos King's nightcap, I did say, now you showed me that you're a bad friend. Because if I give something to you out of the kindness of my heart, the world should never know about it. And that's just how I felt.
But for me, I don't trust, Jackie, Quad, Simone are my friends, right? But on reality TV, I wouldn't take nothing.
But it's a funny thing.
They come back sometimes.
It's a funny thing. When it happened, when I was like, oh my God, like, why would you? I called her, she didn't answer. I sent her a voice note and I was emotional. I was like, thank you so much. Why did you send that? But I appreciate it. And then she kept the voice note. I said, that's a receipt.
Well, Melody, we want to thank you for the money.
Destiny recently had a war of words on social media where you revealed that you gave Destiny money in her time of need. Can you talk to us about that?
If you notice, I hadn't said anything about how I'd helped her until I had to defend myself because she made a post on social media, and called me a liar and a master manipulator. And I'm like, rewind. Let me remind you how I've actually been a great friend. Right? I'm this kind of friend, Carlos. You don't have to ask me for anything. If I see there's a need, I'm going to do all I can to help you. So, for example, if I come to your house and there's a utility notice on your door, that's all, and that's enough for me.
Was there a notice on her door?
There was.
How much did you send her?
Total, a week costs around about 5,000-6,000.
I pay you that much on this show?
Was that, I was saying, because when you file bankruptcy, you're not just bouncing back and doing things like I just said. So when said friend, car kept breaking down, I was the one that was picking her up, and it was a bonding thing for us too, because we both had, small children. Our children are young. Her youngest and mine are 6 months apart. 5 to 6 months apart. So, when her car would break down and I'll have to pick her up, I had errands that I needed to finish, and so did she. So we did it together. I talked about that at the reunion. I also talked about when it completely broke down and I had to be the one to use my credit to rent cars because she couldn't. Because you can't when you have bankruptcy and you don't have a credit card. And also when you owe them because you didn't return cars, or whatever the case may be. So, people are like, oh, you shouldn't tell stuff. The real is the real. This is what happened.
Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. 'Cause the love you give, you can't replace. That's why I spend my life